Hello, Helena. It's Emily McVeigh, Executive Director of the United Way of the Lewis and Clark area, here for this week's Partner Spotlight with Aspen Adult Services. And Charlie, welcome. It's your first time as our Partner Spotlight.
Hello, hello.
So tell us about Aspen Adult Services and why you started Aspen.
Well, Aspen Adult Services is a social service organization in Helena here that is the Helena Industries team. So when Helena Industries went out of business, we were running the supported employment side of that. And so we now not only do the supported employment, but do some independent living, some companion stuff, and we run the day program in the Lion Building.
All right. And so tell us a little bit more about those services that you provide. If people if they're not familiar with what Helena Industries was.
That's a good point. So the job coaching stuff and employment services stuff is kind of the bread and butter from Helena Industries that like we were talking about, and that is essentially a service that helps people get placed into jobs and also helps them keep those jobs. And so a lot of people with disabilities in the community that are in jobs right now, those people, they're job coaches working in the background with management, family, state agencies to help those individuals succeed. And so that's kind of my main background. And then we started doing independent living services and the day program and some of the other stuff. I'm very blessed to have a really good team, and one of those team members has a background in some of that Medicaid kind of oriented service. And so we started doing that as well, and have about 100 people that we're doing the independent living and job service stuff for locally in the community. And the independent living keeps people in their homes independently, grocery shopping, tidying up of the place, helping bills, getting to appointments and things. And so, and then the last thing, our day services program is kind of what it sounds like. It's a program that we run 3 days a week in the Lion Building, where people can come, have education services, have opportunities to give back to the community. We have done some bags for St. Pete's maternity ward, and we did the beautification project in the Great Northern, and so some cool things for people with disabilities to get into the community and give back a little.
Great. So how much need is there in Montana for this kind of service? How many clients could you potentially have?
So there are hundreds of people on a wait list right now waiting for just the supported employment services. The main issue right now, I think, is information, where the number of people that are eligible for services that are able to get those services. There's a list of those people. There's also a laundry list of people that did not get the appropriate information to get on to what is known as the DD waiver. And I'd like to actually take a minute, if you don't mind, right now. If you know people with disabilities, people with disabled children, and those people are not talking to case management, or not talking to the high school, or not getting the information that they need to get on these lists, the list for the developmentally disabled program for Medicaid is currently 13 years long. Mm-hmm. And so if you have a school-age child, it is crucial that you are thinking about these lists now, so that when they are old enough to work, they're able to get into these programs. So the need is massive. I mean, it's huge. And so both in the people that are ready and eligible for services and those that aren't.
Yeah, and even the list for youth is long.
And list
getting on the list before they're even 18 is vital.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
So we only serve adults, and with the disability waiver and some of the state agencies, adults are considered working age individuals. So we can work with people that are 16 years of age and older. The issue that we're having is, if you get done with high school and you're 18, you're ready to get a job, if you didn't get on that list when you're 5 or 6 years old, they're telling you now to get on that list. And it really, depending on those disabilities, we can push people into vocational rehabilitation for some services, but a lot of people miss out on services that they're entitled to because they're not aware of the lists.
And then there's not enough people providing the services.
Yeah, well, that's part of it, but the that gap is being filled a little bit, and Aspen is filling that gap. But the waiver services in particular for the people with developmental disabilities are most disabled neighbors. Those are the folks that need these services, and those are the ones that were kind of falling between the cracks of that long list issue.
So what is it that our community's missing for helping people with disabilities?
So the biggest thing right now, I think, is information. I think that if we had a particular route for information, and I think that probably starts in the elementary schools. I think that that's the most crucial kind of next step for that. And so what I would like to do is find some folks in the community that would like to help us put together some brochures so that my team can put together an informational brochure that would look something like, so you have a child with disabilities and they're 5, this is what you should be thinking about. You're 10 now, you should be thinking about this. Have reached this age, Special Olympics is now available to you, all of these things. Kind of a little informational package that we would be able to educate the educators to give to the people that need it the most. And so I think that's probably the biggest next step, is just helping the people that don't know what they need to know what they need.
Yeah, starting really young.
Really young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People need to know probably from birth.
Really very young.
Yeah.
From birth. Truly. Yeah. So as we kind of get into that would be one of the things I think immediately that Aspen would ask for help with, would be kind of funds to kickstart something like that. Yeah. And so we have the resources and the team to do that. And so a local business or a local individual, if somebody wanted to sponsor that, after we talked about it, the material cost would be about $2,500 a year. Aspen could staff the necessary people to disseminate that information, but to actually design and produce that in any kind of mass would be probably about that $2,500 a year.
And you guys serve more than just Helena. You have offices outside
We're
of
in
Helena.
Bozeman as well. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We do just job coaching in Bozeman right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So who should consider this kind of work?
So we've been having a lot of retired people come in and enjoy this work. Retired teachers, retired healthcare workers, people that aren't necessarily looking to work full time, but would like to come back and make a decent wage. Aspen's starting wage right now is minimum is $16 an hour. And so people with experience in the field can come and even get a little bit better start than that. And so the wage is not unattractive for people kind of wanting to come back into the workforce. And then really anybody that loves helping people. I didn't know I wanted to do this work until I was 35 years old and kind of fell in love with it through Special Olympics. And so, yeah.
So what can the community do to support Aspen and people with disabilities?
Well,
the list is long.
The list is long, the laundry list.
There's always.
We got a couple things going on right now. So Aspen is confined to the Lion Building, and we love being in downtown Helena. We love that space so much, but we've outgrown it. And so we're to the point where we have 9 suites. 2 of our largest suites, we've had to break the day program when it is at full capacity into 2 groups. And so we have an art-focused group and then an education and activities-focused group. It works, but it's not ideal. We want to be able to have everybody together enjoying the same activities together. We'd also like to keep our administrative staff together. We're kind of split amongst 6 things. So we are able to pay rents. If anybody is aware of any good space around town or has space available, we can not only pay rent, but have tax receipts, all kinds of good little benefits as a 501c3 corporation. If you are interested in helping us monetarily, aspenadultservices.org has a very easy kind of widget set up for credit card and bank transfers for donations that submit or give you tax receipts and all that. If you'd like to talk about that and how your money is spent within the organization, people can call or email me personally and we can talk about that. The last thing is vehicles. If you have any older cars that run decently, Aspen is transporting all of our clients around the community and helping them to lead good lives, and we're always looking for good and reliable vehicles. Yeah.
Do you ever need supplies for like your art classes or those
Yeah.
kinds of things? Looking
Yeah.
for just
Definitely.
simple.
You know, so not only, that's a great one, Emily, not only would we love to get supplies and things, but if you are a local artist in the community and you'd like to come, we've had people come and do clay projects with us. We've had people come and do other cool multimedia things. And so if you'd like to come and actually work with people with disabilities and do projects and things, please contact me as well.
Yeah. What other extra projects do you guys do for the disabled folks in the community?
So we have a couple different things. I'm currently running a men's group. It is pretty full right now as far as the amount of staff and the space that we have. If we're able to expand into bigger space, we'll be able to do a bigger group. But we also have an event that goes on at First Lutheran Church. Pastor Lowell Bartles helped us get situated and continue the Peers legacy. So the Peers group disbanded, as a lot of people in Helena know, but Aspen took up their monthly thing. So this month it is going to be on the 26th, and it is going to be a costume bash and pizza party with a costume award or the competition and things like that. Yeah, so should be pretty fun.
And if you don't follow Aspen on Facebook, follow them because the pictures of their monthly outings are so much fun.
We are so blessed. One of our lovely admin staff is a wonderful photographer and is constantly clicking. So yeah,
The
check
amount of
us
fun
out.
that is had at those parties.
Yeah, and we have so much fun. That's such a good point. You can follow us and check that out on aspenadultservices.org, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Yeah.
So do you guys look for like Halloween costume donations, or I know sometimes you guys have dances or proms or things like that?
We would definitely take Halloween costume donations because a lot of our folks are low income. And so having those available, we can make them available on our social media to let people know.
Yeah,
just be wonderful. Candy and everything. I mean, really any of those Halloween accoutrements will be enjoyed at our bash.
Yeah, I know when Piers was doing that kind of stuff, that was always a fun way to support those parties was costumes and dresses and
jewelry,
tuxes
costume jewelry and little
yeah.
things. We had somebody donate a massive bag of if not new, very lightly used stuffed animals. And so we do bingo a couple times a year, and because of the nature of it, everybody wins multiple times. And so we do like little cool knickknacks and tchotchkes that these guys can use for bingo stuff too. Yeah. So yeah, really anything. We are just happy to have any help that we can
So
get.
lots of little ways to support Aspen, and then some big ways that Aspen needs help with, new space.
That's
much bigger space.
Yes. Any help would be very greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Anything else we didn't cover that is important to share with the community?
You know, no, I want to just say that this community is so wonderful. Before this interview, Emily and I were talking about some of the people that have been working here for 20 and 30 years in different positions, in the same position. We have a gal at the hospital that's been there for 28 years. We have 2 different people in grocery that have been there for over 20 years. And this community is just very supporting and loving as far as in person. And so, I'm very thankful for that.
Well, and they're probably people that you see them all the time when you go to Safeway or Vans or wherever you're at in the community, and you just don't know that these are people that work through Aspen, that were part of Helena Industries, that are old Piers clients, and just like part of Helena history in this world, and people just don't realize that this has been a historical piece that Aspen is carrying along for other programs that have went away and Aspen has picked up.
It is. We're trying to carry that torch as best we can. Definitely.
Well, thanks for doing that, because those were important programs, and sometimes the programs just get tired and somebody else picks them up in a new fashion, so that's good.
They do.
The people still need the help.
They do, and the community is only growing.
Yeah,
and I guess that's, if I could finish with one thing, I think that's a thing to think about. The rate of autism when we were kids was I can't remember, was 1 in 4,000 or something that we're diagnosing at that rate, and we're up to 1 in 60, I think. And so it's these services are only going to become more necessary, and the government, our taxes just do not quite make it far enough to give these guys the lives they deserve. So as a community, we need to fill that gap in.
Yeah, and Helena's a great community to do that. So
I agree.
Good thing we're here.
Yeah. Thank you so
All
much
right.
for the opportunity to
Thanks
do this.
for coming in, Charlie.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Helena. We'll see you again next week.